Hello and welcome back to ManVFilm. It's time to look at the February release announcements from Vinegar Syndrome and their partner labels, of which there is seemingly a never-ending slew of movies being released. Is this an exciting month? Is it an underwhelming month? Well, let's dive in, have a look at the releases, what I'll be getting, and we'll take it from there. So first up, we have Bio Zombie. Another Cat 3 movie. Invincible and B are two wannabe gangsters who spend their days hanging around the mall selling bootleg DVDs. When they aren't committing petty crimes and trying to pick up girls, the two hoodlums run errands for their low-level triad boss. When one of these errands involves picking up their boss's car from the mechanic, things take a turn for the two delinquents when they accidentally hit a man walking in the middle of the road. Trying to hide their crime, Invincible and B bring the man's body to the mall in order to figure out their next move. Little do they know that the man has been infected with an experimental bioweapon and has turned into a zombie. Just looking at the trailer, it looks crazy. It looks really fun and gory, and I am sold on this one. This one looks pretty interesting, and it'll be one of the first ones I probably dive into. It's a region-free Blu-ray, studio-supplied master with additional restoration performed by VS, presented in both its original Cantonese language and newly translated English subtitles and a Mandarin language dub track. Brand new commentary with Frank Jeng again, Bio Zombie, an interview with the co-writer-director, video games, Contaminated Lucozade and Human Sushi, a video essay by film historian Chris O'Neill, alternate ending of Bio Zombie, 20-page booklet, reversible sleeve, and newly translated subtitles. Please note, our edition of Bio Zombie is presented in its original Cantonese language track as well as its official Mandarin dub. While we're aware an English dub was created by a former US distributor, it was not sanctioned, supervised, or approved by the filmmakers and presents a highly inaccurate translation and poor mix. I'm sold on this one. I'm getting it anyway as part of the subscription package. I am looking forward, and it will probably be the first one I dive into. Next up, we have the Devonsville Terror, a Uwe Lumel movie, which I've never seen, so I'm going to rectify that soon. Nearly 300 years ago, the residents of Devonsville tortured and murdered a trio of women suspected of witchcraft. However, as they burned, the condemned women swore vengeance from beyond the grave. And then that's kind of what happens. From the director Ule Lumel, which is the big selling point for me, starring, as always, Susanna Love and Donald Pleasance, which is always a great addition, in my opinion. It looks interesting enough. I have heard of this movie before, but I've never seen it. It's newly scanned and restored in 2K from its 35mm internegative. God is a Woman, an interview with co-writer actress Susanna Love. It's Melting Men, an interview with special effects artist. The Incredible Melting Man, an interview with Paul Wilson. Not Very Nice People, an interview with the makeup artist. Mind of a Chess Player, an interview with the camera operator. Archival interview with the director. Theatrical trailer, behind the scenes gallery, reversible sleeve, subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. I don't know much about this one. I just know about the filmmaker. It's got Donald Pleasance. Again, I'm somewhat interested in checking it out. And last from Vinegar Syndrome in the subscription package is Goodbye 20th Century. The year is 2019 and the world has become a dystopian wasteland. A group of nomadic marauders attempt to execute a man named Kuzman as they believe he is responsible for the death of their children in their tribe. After shooting Kuzman several times, they discover that he is in fact immortal. Kuzman then roams the wasteland trying to discover his purpose and ultimately seeking his own death. Upon meeting a fellow immortal, his journey leads him to mythical ruins guarded by a sentry, whom he will have to defeat to enter and discover the secrets held inside. Now, checking out the trailer, which is there on the Vinegar Syndrome page, it looks interesting. Not something I would generally have been drawn towards. Is this going to be one of those titles that Vinegar Syndrome have pulled from nowhere that wows me, or is it going to be one that makes me reach to throw it on eBay as quickly as possible? I guess time will tell. It's a region-free Blu-ray, newly scanned and restored in 4K from its 35mm original camera negative. Incredible madness, an interview with the director, designs beyond the 20th century, interview with the art director, the immortal man, interview with actor, excuse me, music video, reversible sleeve artwork, and newly translated English subtitles. Would I jump in this one? I don't know if I would. If I wasn't part of being a subscriber, I don't know if this is something I would initially grab. Looks interesting enough, and I'm going to have an open mind. We shall see. Next up in the partner labels, we have American Rapstar. This is from Utopia. It's a new scene of troubled lo-fi young rappers has emerged from Trump's America, utilising the SoundCloud streaming platform to quickly become the most culturally disruptive force in hip-hop, shocking the world with their rambunctious antics, prescription drug use, facial tattoos, and rebellious punk energy. This is from 2021. It's 81 minutes. It's a Region A Blu-ray. It's got an audio commentary, theatrical trailer, postcard with alternate poster artwork, and subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. Now, this is checking out the trailer. It's something I'd be interested in watching, but it's not something that I would pick up. It's not something that's got that rewatchability for me. It's not a scene that I'm particularly into, although it does look interesting enough that I would want to see it. Next up, we have Amigo for Decalogue. Winner of 25 Genre Festival Awards worldwide, Amigo is a darkly comic psychological thriller depicting a bitter power struggle between two best friends. Following a car accident that kills his wife and leaves his best friend David with nothing but a scratch, Javi is left bedridden. His body bears deep gashes. His lungs are filled with fluid that are making talking painful and near impossible. His legs are inoperable. From scene 1, we see the dynamic at play between the two survivors. David carries Javi into the house. They are fresh from the hospital, and David assures Javi that he will be there to care for him, but something is not right. Yeah, sounds interesting enough, but I can't find a trailer or anything on it just now. Puts me a little bit in the back foot. 83 minutes, good run time. It's got a making of, deleted scenes, trailer, various interviews, presenting Amigo at Stiges Film Festival, which is 30 minutes, extended interview with one of the stars, more interviews, booklet. I'd be curious to hear opinions on this one. If anyone's picking it up or if you have seen the film, let me know because I am curious. Next up, we have from Saturn's Core, Deep Undead. When a pair of divers go missing near the Catfish, a notorious site of a mysterious 1920s shipwreck, a tenacious news reporter, Megan Flowers, becomes determined to unravel the mystery connection between the divers' disappearance and the ominous nuclear power plant located on the shores of the small coastal community. When a local close-knit group of salvage divers are enlisted to search the area, the tension mounts as the shores become awash in radioactive corpses and blood-sucking mutant vampire humanoids. This was released in 2005. It's a region-free Blu-ray, newly transferred from the director's cut version of the original SVHS master, new audio commentary, new transfer of the original VHS cut, diving deeper into Deep Undead, a new feature-length retrospective documentary, which are always great, Q&A from the 2019 cast and crew reunion, Beyond the Deep Undead, archival making of, 2 alternate endings, Open House, a short film directed by Matt Cannon, trailer, photo artwork gallery, reversible cover, and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. Looking at the trailer, it looks like I hate to say typical kind of shot and video stuff. The acting's ropey. It doesn't fill me with a lot of promise. But again, I'd be curious to hear anyone's opinion of this if they have seen it or are going to get it. Next up, from Gunpowder and Sky. And again, I'm going to say this, can we get Rocksteady Row on 4K, please? I just keep waiting on that one. It's never coming. Eat, Brain, Love, I've seen before, and is a fairly fine movie directed by Rodman Flender. This is an ordinary lunch hour explodes in an orgy of spurting blood and flying organs when stoner Jake Stevens and cheerleader Amanda Blake suddenly gut-munch half their class in the school cafeteria. Afflicted with a zombie virus, they hit the road in search of a cure while outrunning Cass, a telepath charged with hunting and killing the infected. Can Jake and Amanda find love while eating their way through the National Sex Offender Registry? The director of Idle Hands delivers an outrageous gore-soaked zombie rom-com. 86 minutes. 86 minutes. And from what I remember about this one is I liked most of it, but it doesn't have an ending. It's like a pilot for a TV show or the first in a series of movies. It stops. It doesn't conclude at all for me, and that left me wanting more. Up until then, I was enjoying the film, and that just, I find that a little bit frustrating. It's got a new interview with the director and actors. It's got a video essay by Sam Deehan, audio commentary with the director, behind the scenes feature, still gallery, theatrical trailer, booklet by film critic Kim Newman, Valentine's Day cards and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. I like this one. I just wish it was a better movie. Next, we have For the Plasma from Factory 25. For the Plasma begins in a remote house on the coast of Maine, where a young woman named Helen has found work as a forest fire lookout responsible for monitoring the nearby woodland. While analysing CCTV footage of the surrounding forest, she discovers that by reconfiguring her perception, she can predict shifts in the global financial markets. But when her inquisitive friend Charlie arrives at the house, Helen finds herself challenged by her new colleague, and the two girls' relationship begin to unravel. From this cryptic premise grows a lo-fi mind-bender of intimate scale and startling relevance, flirting with genre conventions even as it subverts them. Yeah, I checked out the trailer. I wasn't sold on this one. It's a region-free Blu-ray commentary by Bingham Bryant. Foreign Powers, a short film by Bingham Bryant. Trailer, 24-page booklet, an interview with Bingham Bryant and Kyle Mosenan and John Majory. English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. Next up, we have Foxhole from Yellow Veil Pictures. Over 36 hours in 3 different wars, a small group of soldiers grapples with their mortality, futility, and an increasingly volatile combat situation. This is a region-free Blu-ray, introduction by the director, behind-the-scenes featurette, animation diary, music video, short film, Q&A from the screening at MOMA, audio commentary. It has a theatrical trailer, new alternate art, an essay, and an subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. And I like the idea of this one. And even the trailer looks good, but I feel almost devoid of information. Looking online, there's not much I can find out about this one. It looks the part, but most of the Yellow Veil pictures have been pretty stunning in their looks-wise. The story sounds interesting enough, jumping between 3 various periods of time with our heroes. Again, I'd like more information on this one. Next, we have Glow, the story of the gorgeous ladies of wrestling from AGFA. Glow, the story of the gorgeous ladies of wrestling, is a true story of what happened behind the scenes of one of the most outrageous television shows in history. From 1986 to 1992, the airwaves were ruled by Glow, a neon and glitter-soaked reimagining of the WWF with an all-female cast. 77 minutes is a quick watch. This looks great, to be honest. It's a region-free Blu-ray. preserved from the original digital master, archival commentary track. We have a United Film Festival Q&A, outtakes, original trailer, 70 minutes of vintage glow matches, skits and music videos, and subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. I don't think the rewatchable factor is there in this one for me, but I would like to check it out at least once. So if it hits any streaming services, I will absolutely watch this one. Next, we have from Canadian International Pictures, Hitman Hart Wrestling with Shadows, which I've seen, and it's great. In 1997, the World Wrestling Federation is facing fierce competition from Ted Turner's World Championship Wrestling, when the legendary Brit the Hitman Hart is offered a lucrative opportunity to jump ship to the WCW. Vince McMahon appeals to his sense of loyalty and lures him back with a 20-year contract. But when McMahon abruptly reneges on the deal, Hart reconnects with the competition, paving the way for one of the most notorious events in the history of professional wrestling, the Montreal Screwjob. This is a fantastic documentary. I would highly recommend it. I've already got a copy of it. I don't need another copy. We've got an audio commentary featuring Bret Hart, Anatomy of a Screwjob, a new interview with Bret Hart, directing with Shadows, new interview with the director, Screwjob specific commentary featuring Bret Hart. We've got archival interviews with Bret Hart, Paul J, The Life and Death of Owen Hart, 47 minutes. A booklet featuring an interview with producer Sally Blake, reversible cover artwork and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. If you're interested at all, you've probably seen this. If not, it's a great watch. One that I will be getting from Deaf Crocodile is The Son of the Stars. I loved their previous animation film, which was just terrific, so I'm curious about this one. A wild and surreal outer space adventure, a mid-80s mashup of The Empire Strikes Back, Alien, and Edgar Rice Burroughs' Tarzan. Set in the year 6470, a husband and wife team of explorers receive a mysterious distress signal from an astronaut who disappeared decades earlier. They leave their son on board the ship to search for the missing astronaut, but fate intervenes. Their own ship crashes, leaving their son alone. Or is he? This is a Region A Blu-ray, a new restoration by Deaf Crocodile from the original 35mm negative. We've got a new commentary track by Sam Deegan. That's a shame. I loved the track by Kat Ellinger on the previous one, hoping she was going to be back for this release. We've got a new interview with co-director, new booklet with essay by Stephen R. Bissett, and a Blu-ray mastering by Fidelity in Motion, who are one of the best in the business, and it's got English subtitles. Picking this up primarily because I loved the last release. I can't wait to check out this and see what it has to offer. Next up, we have Thrust by Culture Shock. So Thrust is a super-saturated exploitation epic that follows two lovers, Aloe and Vera, through a dystopian society ruled by girl gangs. Aloe and Vera are on a quest to kill the last scumbag alive, a disgusting degenerate named Dirtbag Mike. Along the way, they have to survive a lurid spectrum of horny and unhinged freaks and friends. It's a region-free Blu-ray. It's from 2022. Features a feature-length commentary with its stars, End of Men, over 3 hours of behind-the-scenes footage, Origins featuring Hannah Foreman and Amy Goodhart, Scary Mary's Cinema, collecting all of Scary Mary's home movies, the music of Thrust, Thrust Weekend, Yas, Scream Queens featuring Linnea Quigley and Sadie Tate, short film Triangle, commentary for Triangle with director Victor Bonacore and composer Caleb Whodunit, Thrust trailer and subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. I don't know a thing about this. It sounds pretty great. I want to see a trailer. I want to see some reviews. It's not something I would jump on immediately until I see more. I've been burned before with a good synopsis. Next up, we have Whodunit, the Clue documentary, which, although it says 36 left here, has sold out, and I'm kind of kicking myself because I love Cluedo. I wasn't sure whether this would be something I would rewatch or whatever. The Clue film is fantastic, and it's something I would love to see. I've missed out on the slipcover. That's my fault for just sitting on it. Solve the mystery of how Clue, a film based on a board game, was murdered at the box office, but in a shocking twist, found a fan base with a passionate appreciation for the movie's hilarious dialogue and incredible cast. It's starring Colleen Camp, Jeffrey Kramer, Jonathan Lynn, Michael McKean, Lee Ving, and Leslie Ann Warren. It's a region-free Blu-ray. The evidence found in the Clue soundtrack feature it, additional interview footage not included in the film, and a podcast interview with the director Jeff Smith. I would probably have bought this if it still had the slipcover, and I don't know if it's something, again, I'm going to rewatch. So if I can find it on streaming, I've probably saved myself some money there. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this at some point, though. Next up, we have Wild Reeds from Altered Innocence. Set against the backdrop of the last days of the French-Algerian War, amidst the lush landscapes of southern France, Wild Reeds is a coming-of-age saga looking at the sexual awakening of 4 teenagers. The quartet discovers sensual delights while grappling with inner conflict and political differences. From 1994, this is a Region A Blu-ray. Discord, Bloom and Light, the poetic pulse of Andrei Chechning's Wild Reeds. A video essay by Daniel Kramer. New interview with actor Stephanie Rideau. Double-sided poster with an essay by Camden Mark Gardner. New original trailer. Other trailers, English subtitles, and yeah, it's not for me. Doesn't look like my kind of thing. And I think that is just about all of the releases this month. Yeah. I'm going to go for The Son of the Stars is my partner pick of the month. I'm going to pick that up. I will be getting the 3 subscription titles as usual, and hopefully they're enjoyable. But I would love to know, are anything that sparks interest in you in amongst these announcements? Is there something that you go, wow, I need to get that? Something that I've just passed over that you know more about and think I should pick up? Please let me know in the comment box below. Maybe you'll encourage me to spend some more money. As always, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. In the description box below are links to the Patreon membership program, manvfilm.com, and there's more content up here if you want to see more of my stuff. Thanks. See you later.